So we're gonna try something different here because I got my new microphone and I am super excited that I don't have to yell into the camera, especially because I always feel like I'm bothering the neighbors. So we can have a nice yoga practice. We're going to do a nice, easy practice today. So this is more of a beginner type of stretching and loosening up the spine, loosening up the extremities. And it's just going to be a brief practice. I hope that you enjoy it, especially on a nice, hot summer day. All right, so let's come on down to our mat, and we're going to start in our kneeling position. And I like to tuck my toes under to get a nice stretch in my feet. So let's sit back on our heels with our toes tucked under. And let's close our eyes, getting grounded into our mat, into the earth. Taking a nice deep breath in and letting it all go out. Let's do that again, taking a breath in and letting it go. Let's release those toes to come all the way down with the tops of our feet flat on the ground, coming all the way down onto resting on our knees. And if that's too much for your knees, go ahead and have a seat in easy pose, doing whatever is comfortable for you. And also I want to remind you, if this just gets to be a little too much and you want to ratchet things back, remember you can always come into child's pose because you're still doing something. So again, coming into our kneeling pose, and we're going to raise those hands up overhead, reaching for the sky, stretching and lengthening. Taking a deep breath in, we're going to take a stretch over to the right, reaching with our left hand. Looking up at the sky. And if you're in the house, looking up to the ceiling. You let that breath all the way out. Then taking a nice deep breath in, bring both arms overhead. And let's stretch it over to the left side. Reaching that right hand all the way over, cracking open the side body. Looking up to the sky or the ceiling. And with each breath, you're reaching down into your body even deeper. And let all that air go. And come on up, taking a breath in. And we're going to twist over to the right, reaching around with our right hand as we grab our right knee with our left hand and take a nice twist. Warming up the spine. Nice. And raise those arms up and twist to the other side. Resting that right hand on the left knee. And bring those arms up. Let's come all the way up on our knees, reaching up energetically. And draw those hands to the earth, coming to our tabletop position. And we're going to do a little cat-cow again to continue warming up the spine. Taking a little cow, arching that back up. And letting that breath go as we pull that pelvis towards our hands, letting that breath go. Again, rising up, pushing that butt upward, raising that heart toward the sky, taking a breath in and letting it go, coming back to our cat. Pushing up out of our bodies. Getting a nice stretch in that lower back, across the back of the shoulders, and come to neutral spine. We're going to take that right foot and push it out behind us. And at the same time, bring that left hand out in front of us, balancing, holding that for a moment. And let's see if we can continue that balance by bringing that leg around to the side while also bringing the right or the left arm over to the left side. And continue to breathe. And bring it back to neutral. And set them down. Let's come to the other side, pushing that left foot out to the back, raising that right hand in front of you. So we're going to have a straight line from fingertip to toe. Hold that balance. And now we're going to come to the side with the left leg over to the left, the right hand over to the right, and hold it there. And flex that foot. And come back to neutral and down to the ground. Let's see if we can bump that hip, that right hip over to the right. And let's bring that left hand, so we're kind of forming a U, getting a nice twist, a nice bend in the right side. And bring it on over to the left side, bumping that left hip out, forming a U by taking the right hand across the left and come back to neutral. We're going to tuck those toes underneath and we're going to take our first down dog. So nice and easy, pushing up. And you can keep those knees as bent as you need to. And we're going to pedal those feet out, just warming up the backs of the legs, letting that head hang down, letting go of the tension in the neck. Pedal those feet out. Push that heart down to melt into the earth. And continue to breathe. And finding stillness, push that heart even further down, letting go of the tension in the head and neck. And now we're going to come up to our toes and we're going to roll on over to a plank pose. And in our plank pose, we're going to hold it for a moment. And then we're going to, nice and easy, do a little lift with that right toe. And if you want to hold it right here on your plank, that's fine too. If you want to add a little more, lift that right foot up. And lower. Let's do the left foot up. And lower. Let's come down on our knees. And we're going to push all the way back to extended child's pose. And let's find our way back up to down dog. Pushing back. And let's walk those feet to the front of our mat. Grab opposite elbows and just find some length by hanging in your forward fold. Maybe swaying side to side. Maybe just finding stillness. Letting go of all of that tension. And drop those hands to the ground. We're going to do a half lift. So maybe the first one, placing our hands on our shins. Take a little lift up. And lower those hands back to the earth. And we're going to rise up for our first sun salutation. Taking those arms all the way up. Bringing hands together down to heart center. Taking a breath in, bringing those arms down and around and up, and taking a swan dive down to the ground. Come to flat back and half lift, and lower. And take a step or a hop back to plank. And we're going to lower nice and easy all the way down. And take a little lift up in cobra. And lower. Tuck the toes under and push back into down dog. Let's do that again. Take a walk to the front of the mat. Come up to half lift. And lower. Rise up. Hands to heart center. Arms down and around and up. And swan dive forward. Half lift. And lower. And step back to plank. Lower back down to cobra. Take a lift up. And lower. Tuck those toes under and push back to down dog. Let's do one more. Walking to the front of the mat. Half lift. And lower. Rise up to high mountain. Hands together, heart center. Arms down and around and up. And lower. Forward fold. Half lift. And lower. And step back to plank. And this time, option to do up dog or cobra. So lower halfway for up dog. Place those tops of your feet on the mat. Push up to up dog. And push back to down dog. Nice. We're going to walk to the front of the mat again, but we're going to do something different this time. So take a little half lift in preparation and lower. We're going to bend our knees and we're going to come into chair pose, raising those arms up and out, sitting that tushy back, holding that, and rise all the way up. Hands together into heart center. Take those arms out in the front and up. Sit back and forward fold. Taking a halfway lift and lower and step back to plank. And you can do your chaturanga, either cobra or up dog. And we'll all meet in down dog. Now this time, if you'd like to try to hop forward, you're going to come up on your toes, look to where you want to go, and you're going to kick your heels to your butt and land easily at the front of your mat. And let's come to half lift and lower. Bend those knees, come into chair pose. Now this time, bring your hands to heart center. And we're going to do a twist over to the right, hooking that left elbow onto the right knee and pushing those hands together. See if you can sit back a little farther in this posture. For a bit more of a challenge, take those arms out wide. And unfold and stand up. High mountain. Hands together to heart center. Sit back into chair pose. Arms up overhead. Hands to heart center and twist to the left. Hook that right elbow to the left knee. Push those hands together. Sit back as far as you can. And if you want to, take those arms wide. And come back to neutral, standing up to high mountain. And take a dive down to forward fold. Come up to half lift and lower. And step or hop to plank. And lower for chaturanga. To up dog or cobra, and we will meet in down dog. We're going to float that right foot up, and let's hold it there in the air. Nice. And then we're going to bend that knee as we bring the leg forward to our nose. And shoot it back out and up. Let's try that again. Bend the knee to nose. Out and up. And one more, knee to nose. And then set that foot between your hands. And we're going to rise up to our runner's lunge. And just hold it there, stretching. See if you can get deeper into the lunge. Take a little bend back. And come forward, framing that front foot. And bring that foot back to meet the left foot, lowering for chaturanga. To up dog or cobra, and push back to down dog. Let's do it on the other side. Float that left foot up. And then we're going to bend that knee as we bring it to our nose. And take it back out and up. Bend to nose. Take it back out and up. And one more. Bend it, knee to nose. And place that foot between your hands. Come into our high lunge. And see if you can get deeper into that stretch. Nice. The heat is definitely helping. And take a little bend back. And come all the way forward, framing that front foot. And bring that left foot to meet the right foot, lowering down for chaturanga. And push up. And back to down dog. Let's walk on forward. And we're going to bring our feet about hip width apart. We're going to take our 2 peace fingers and we're going to grab our big toes. Take a little lift up, taking a breath in, and then we're going to pull down to stretch the backs of the legs while pulling those elbows out side to side. Getting in a nice deep stretch. Feeling that all in the backs of the legs. Nice. And release. And we're going to bend those knees and just come up vertebra by vertebra. Coming into low mountain. Hold that. Catch your breath. Stand tall and be strong. And we're going to bring our hands to our hips. And standing on one foot, your left foot, we're going to bring that right foot up. Finding balance. I don't know how balanced I am today, but we're all a work in progress, right? Take that right foot out in front of you. Take those arms out and up and bring them together down to heart center. And then we're going to take that leg that is up in the air and we're going to come to our warrior 3. So we're continuing to balance, taking that leg back behind us, flexing the foot while we're balancing with our arms in front of us. Holding that, finding a focal point in front of us. And bring it all the way up and take a dive down for forward fold, half lift, hands to the floor, take a step back, lower for chaturanga. Take a lift up and back to down dog. Let's take a walk to the front again. And we're going to gradually roll up. Coming into our low mountain. Maybe even shutting off the eyes and enjoying the strong pose. Bring those hands to hips. And let's stand on one foot while we lift the other one. Right foot stays on the ground while left foot rises, bending the knee, holding that. You're getting a great workout on that standing leg while also exercising the hip by lifting your leg. Take that left foot and stretch it all the way out in front of you. Continue to hold it and balance it. Take those arms out to the sides and up overhead. Bring your hands together. Come to heart center. Bend that knee and take that left foot all the way back while reaching with your hands in front of you, coming into your warrior 3. Flex that foot behind you. Stretch from fingertips to toes. Hold that pose. You're doing great. And let's come on up to standing tall in our high mountain and dive forward. Take a lift up and down and come on down to our plank and lower for chaturanga. Coming into up dog or cobra and push back to down dog. Nice. This time we're going to float that right foot up and bend the knee, bringing that right foot all the way between your two hands, pivoting that left heel down to the ground, raising those arms up overhead, finding warrior one. Make sure that you are balanced on both feet. See if you can get a little deeper into the pose. Nice. Let's bring our arms into cactus arms while we shine that heart to the sky, getting a little bend in the back while deepening that posture, getting deeper. Remember to breathe. It's so easy to get out of sync. And bring those arms up and down to frame the foot. Coming into plank and lowering for chaturanga. Coming into up dog or cobra and push back to down dog. Nice. Float that left foot up and bend the knee, bringing that left foot between your hands. Pivot that right heel down and coming up for warrior one. Make sure your hip points are straight ahead. Find your alignment. Alignment is so important, especially when it comes to the spine. See if you can get deeper into the stretch. Nice. Come into cactus arms. Shine that heart up to the sky. Deepening that bend. Stretch it out. And come to neutral, raising those arms overhead. Come on down, all the way down to frame the front foot. Take that foot back, lower to chaturanga. And come on up to up dog and push back to down dog. Let's walk to the center of your mat. And we're going to bring our toes out to either side, and we're going to come on down into our yogi squat. Bring your hands to heart center, and we're going to be pushing out on either side with our elbows. So your thumbs are going to come right to your sternum. So push that out, getting a nice stretch. We're going to go into a bind, and if this doesn't work for you, it's not accessible, that's totally okay. You can stay here. And also you might find that you need to go into child's pose at this point. Whatever works for your body is okay. We're going to take our arms up, and we're going to float that right arm around our right knee and bring that left hand behind us to meet the right hand, and try to stretch those shoulders out. So there's a lot going on here. We're balancing and stretching all at the same time. And release. Raise those arms up overhead. And take that left arm around the front of the knee while you bring the right hand to meet the left. And stretch the shoulder out while you're also staying in that yogi squat. Don't forget to breathe. If your breathing gets choppy, reset. Make sure it's a nice, even breath, and release. And bring those hands to the ground. And let's see if we can do a little lift up in our yogi squat. We aren't going to do the inversion yet, but let's come up on our toes and hike those knees up into our armpits. And at some point we will get into our crow pose. This is just preparation. And lower those heels. And we're going to rise up, flip those toes forward, come into high mountain, and forward fold. Take a half lift and lower. And we're coming into our chaturanga for our last time, lowering down, coming into our up dog or cobra. And we're going to lower our knees this time and push back into our child's pose. And rise up. And we're going to swing those legs around in front of us. Maybe slide into the middle of our mat. And we're going to come into staff pose. So those legs are straight out in front of us. Feet are flexed. Bring your arms up and overhead. Stretching, pulling that navel into your back. And see if you can hinge at the hips and forward fold without coming into a hunchback. But try to keep that as straight as you can. And nice up. Float those hands back a few inches behind your butt. We're going to point those toes and we're going to take a lift up. Push those hips up toward the sky. And lower. Raise those arms overhead. We're going to bend that right knee and just hook it over the left knee in front of us. And we're going to take that right hand back behind us while we wrap the left arm around the knee. And we're going to look toward the back. Getting in a nice twist. And let's raise those arms up overhead. Straighten that right leg. Bring the left leg up and over the right knee. And let's do the opposite side. Twisting, twisting. This is so good for digestion and your lower back. And even a little bit of hips in here. And release. Nice. We're going to bring our feet flat on the mat. Bring our hands to our sides in front of us, and we're going to come into boat pose. So hold those legs parallel to the ground. And if you feel up to it, maybe straighten those legs in front of you. Maybe keep them bent. Whatever works for your body. And lower those feet to the ground, and we're going to slowly come back to lie down. Nice and slow. And you might feel this in your abs. And release all the way down. Maybe you need to inch yourself to square yourself on the mat. Bring those knees in and up to your chest. And bring the feet back to the mat. Maybe windshield wiper the legs a little bit. And we're going to do some final poses before Shavasana, which was well earned today. So we're going to take that right ankle over the left knee, and we're going to thread that right hand between the legs, lifting that left foot up as we reach around with our left hand, grabbing our left thigh and pulling in. So this is a reclined pigeon, getting a nice stretch in the hip. So we're putting pressure on all sides. I'm a little sweaty, slipping. Nice, and release it all. And let's do the same on the other side, bringing that left ankle up over the right knee, reaching between the legs with that left hand and reaching around the right leg with the right hand as we join the hands.